Hi, welcome back again. Let's start A-level paper 5 planning analysis and evaluation paper of May June 25 variance 54. We have done variance 51 and 52 in the previous classes. Today we are going to discuss about 54. Let's see what we have in this paper. Well, the relative molecular mass of an unknown volatile liquid Y can be determined experimentally. Let me remind you that in AS, gas syringe experiment can be used to determine the molecular mass of the volatile liquids. So it's more likely the application of general gas equation. But let's see what we have in this. The student uses following method to determine the volume of a conical flask. Weigh a dry conical flask. All right, that's the step one. Let's move on to the next step. Fill the conical flask completely with distilled water. Okay, that's excellent. And now weigh the conical flask when filled with distilled water. So first weigh the dry conical flask, then weigh the conical flask and distilled water together. Use a thermometer to measure the temperature of the distilled water in the conical flask. Okay. The student collects the result shown in the table 1.1. Mass of dry flask, mass of flask plus distilled water. When you subtract these two values, you will get the mass. I believe you get the mass of water, temperature of the flask, temperature of the water in flask, and laboratory atmospheric pressure in kilopascal, which is 99. Part 1. Show figure 1.1 shows the variation of the density of water with temperature. Okay. So this sketch is already given in the question. So what the question is, use figure 1.1 to determine the density of water at 23 degrees Celsius. So examiner has given us the temperature 23 degrees Celsius and we need to find out the density at this temperature. So let's move on to the 23 degrees Celsius temperature. This is 22, this is 23. This is 23. And exactly at this point, the density is going to be 0.9975 or then 9976. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 77 and then 997 74. Okay. So it's basically 0.9976. Okay. So the density is, an examiner is looking for the answer for 4 decimal places. So 4 decimal places. So 0.9976 is the correct answer. Gram per cm cube. Now, examiner is saying calculate the volume of flask using the density of water determined in A1. Okay. So using this density and the mass can find the volume. So technically, first of all, let's find the mass of water. So mass of flask plus water is 161.175. And then mass of flask is 31.022. So the mass of water is going to be 130.153 gram. Okay. Density is what? Mass per unit volume. So mass is given. Okay. So mass is given. Density is also given. That's the density. I can get the volume. Mass is 130.153 divided by the density. Density at 23 degrees Celsius is 0.9976. Okay. So the volume is going to be 130.5184. So 130.5184 cm cube. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Another student determined the volume of volume of a different conical flask to be 129.56 cm cube. This conical flask is used to determine the MR of unknown volatile liquid Y. Okay, the following method is used. Cover the opening of the dry conical flask with aluminum foil. Um, why aluminum foil? Because it is flexible and it is used to seal. Uh, Technically, aluminum foil is flexible. Also, used to seal the flask to prevent evaporation of vapor. Okay, and secure using a rubber band. Okay, why are we placing a rubber band instead of rubber bung? Just to ensure the foil stays tightly during heating and handling. Okay. Now the next is weigh the conical flask, aluminum foil, and rubber band. Record the mass. Okay. Okay. Next is use a syringe with a needle to make a small hole in the aluminum foil and inject approximately 5 cm cube of wire into the conical flask. Remove the syringe. Okay. Why we need a syringe with a needle? So that we can add precise amount of liquid wire. Ensure precise amount of liquid wire. Okay. And when we remove the syringe, uh, Is that affect the whole experiment? I don't think so. Since we have a small hole because of that needle, which is why when we remove the syringe, the small hole limit the um, rapid escape of vapor. So it limits. That's tricky, by the way, as we have a very tiny hole because of that particular that needle. Okay, place the conical flask in a water bath containing boiling water. Why we need water bath? Water bath is used for uniform heating. It is safer, and also it is used to control the temperature. So to control the temperature and uniform heating. Also, it is safer. Okay, my bad. Hold on. Okay, allow all the Y to evaporate. Keep the conical flask containing vaporized Y in the boiling water for further 3 minutes. After the evaporation of all the Y, why we need to keep the conical flask um, in the boiling water for further 3 minutes? What's the logic behind that? I think just to make sure the complete evaporation of the residual liquid, and also the boiling water has a thermal equilibrium. See, boiling water means that liquid, water, and steam both undergoes thermal equilibrium. Okay, so to make sure that thermal equilibrium exists between these two states, and also to ensure the complete evaporation of any residual liquid. That's tough, guys. Oh my goodness. Reaches thermal equilibrium as I have shown you through the equation. Okay, whenever liquid turn into steam, at a certain point equilibrium exists between both the states. That's called thermal equilibrium. Okay, and to ensure complete evaporation of any residual liquid. Residual means remaining liquid. Okay, carefully remove the conical flask from the boiling water and dry the outside the surface thoroughly. Okay, 2 points again. Carefully remove the conical flask. Why we need a careful adjustments here? To prevent splashing. and why we need to dry the flask from the outside thoroughly, so that I need to remove any condensed water from the bath or from the water bath, which could add to the mass. And that's very, very important point to remove condensed water from the water bath, which could add mass. Okay. Now weigh the conical flask, aluminum foil, rubber band, and content. Record this mass. Suggest why the conical flask containing vaporized Y is kept in the boiling water for 3 minutes in step 5. And that's what I've told you. 3 minutes. Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. We need to write this. Okay. Liquid Y needs to be evaporated fully and also reaches thermal equilibrium. Suggest why it is not necessary to determine the mass of liquid Y injected into the conical flask by the syringe in step 3, because initial amount is already greater than the required amount. Okay. And one more thing, we need the difference of mass. So we really don't need the initial mass of Y, okay, which is injected into the conical flask. So we just need the difference of that mass, which we can find out very easily. The substance thinks, sorry, the student thinks that Y is toxic other than wearing safety goggles and lab coat. State one safety precaution that must be taken when carrying out the experiment. Since it is toxic, which means experiment needs to be performed in fume cupboard, also called fume hood. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. I hope you get the point. Next, table 1.2 shows the student results. The temperature of the water bath is 100 degrees Celsius, and that's the boiling point of water, guys. Remember that, okay? Laboratory atmospheric pressure 99 kilopascal. Mass of conical flask, aluminum foil, and rubber band measured in step 2. Mass of conical flask, aluminum foil, rubber band, and Y measured in step 7. Mass of Y in flask in step 7, and volume of conical flask used 129.56. Okay, calculate the percentage error in the mass measured in step 2. In step 2, the mass measured was 31.123 gram, and that indicates a 3 decimal place balance. And the error for a single reading in 3 decimal place balance is 0.001 gram. Error in single reading. Okay. So examiner is looking for the percentage error. An examiner asking that we need to show the working. So that's easy. Percentage error equals to error in single reading is 0.001 gram divided by the mass given in step 2 is 31.123 into 100. So the percentage error is going to be 0.00321%. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. The student assumes that the vapor formed from liquid Y is an ideal gas. The ideal gas equation is shown, that is PV equals to nRT. P is the pressure of gas measured in Pascal, which means I have to convert this 99 kilopascal into Pascal. So 1 kilopascal equals to 1000 pascals. So when we have 99 kilopascal, it's going to be 99,000 pascals. Okay. So that's the conversion. Okay. Temperature has to be in Kelvin. It's 100 degrees Celsius. We need to add 273 in it. So it's going to be 373 Kelvin. Okay. Volume of flask in cm cube. I have to convert this volume into meter cube. So 1 centimeter cube equals to 1 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. So when we have 129.56 cm cube, it's going to be how much meter cube? Let me calculate. 129.56 into 1 exponent minus 6 is going to be 1.2956 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter cube. See, I know the volume. Okay. All right. I know the volume. I know the temperature. I know the pressure. What's left? Pressure, volume, R, and T, N. So examiner is looking for what? Oh, that's easy. So examiner is looking for the number of moles of Y in a conical flask in step 7. So assume that the temperature of the vapor formed from liquid Y is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so it's PV equals to nRT. We need to find the moles. So it's going to be PV upon RT. The pressure is 99,000 Pascal. Volume is 1.2956 into 10 to the power minus 4. Divided by R. R is universal gas constant. Its value is fixed, given in the data table at the end of this paper. So it's 8.31. You have done this value with me in AS also. Temperature is 373. So the value of N is going to be 4.13 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. Okay, so amount of Y in step 4 in the conical flask is going to be 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 3 moles. All right, let's move on to the next page. Calculate the MR of Y. Okay. So mass of Y is already given in step 7, which is 0.306. Moles is given, which is 4.13 into 10 to the power minus 3. Using these two values, I can find the MR. So moles equals to mass upon MR. I need to find the MR of Y. So mass is 0.306 gram, and that's the value, I believe. Yes. And the moles is 4.13 into 10 to the power minus 3, I guess. Let me check. Yes. Okay, so the MR of Y is going to be 74.1. The actual temperature of the vapor formed from liquid Y is less than 100 degrees Celsius. So the actual temperature is lower, but the student uses 100 degrees Celsius in the experiment. Describe and explain the effect that has on the calculated value of the MR. Ah, that's tricky. Uh, we have two different scenarios here. The first one is actual. You know, is less. The actual temperature of liquid Y is less. Um, okay. What if you have less temperature, lower than 100? Let me explain it to you. If we have lower than 100 degrees Celsius, obviously PV upon RT was the equation. See, if temperature is lower than 100, obviously moles is going to be higher. Moles is always equals to mass upon MR. So if moles is higher, obviously MR is lower. That was the actual experiment, okay? But student uses more temperature, right? Higher temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So if she's using or he's using 100 degrees Celsius temperature, then a student is using 100 degrees Celsius, that is higher than the actual one. So moles is going to be lower. Moles is always equals to mass upon MR. So if moles is going to be lower, MR is going to be higher. That means effect on calculated MR is going to be बल्कि इसको इस तरह से लिख लें, calculated MR is going to be higher. Okay, why? Because when temperature increases, moles decreases, and if moles decreases, obviously MR increases. Okay, I hope it makes sense to you. It the actual scenario says that the temperature should be lower than 100, but the student uses 100 degrees Celsius, which is higher than the actual one. Okay, so when we using higher value of temperature, obviously the MR is going to be higher. Higher. Okay. Next part of the question: the boiling point of methyl benzene is 111 degrees Celsius. That's the boiling point of methyl benzene, and that's very important. Suggest why the MR of methyl benzene cannot be determined using the method. Whew. Okay. Oh, so we were using boiling water in the experiment, and boiling water has a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So if I'm going to use methyl benzene, obviously its boiling point is greater than the boiling point of water. So obviously, it's not going to fully vaporized during the experiment. Methyl benzene. Uh, my bad. Methyl benzene has a higher boiling point than water. So it will not fully vaporized at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. So that's the end of first question. Let's start with the second one. But that's tough. That's not an easy thing. Okay. Let's next question. A student carries out an experiment to determine the charge of an aqueous ion Mn plus of metal M. Oh, we need to determine the charge. Okay. The student prepare 100 cm cube of 1 mole per dm cube copper nitrate to the experiment. Calculate the mass of hydrated copper nitrate required to prepare 100 cm cube of 1 mole per dm cube copper nitrate. Oh, that's easy. Moles of copper nitrate dot 3H2O. So it's 100 into 1.00 divided by 1000. So it's going to be zero point 0.1 mole. Okay, that's the first step. To get the mass, we need to find out the MR of copper nitrate, hydrated copper nitrate, MR of hydrated salt. So it's going to be how much? 241.6. Okay, now using these two values, I can find the mass of hydrated copper nitrate. Moles is 0.1. MR is 241.6. So it's going to be 24.2 gram. Okay. Describe the steps the student should take to prepare 100 cm cube of 1 mole per dm cube copper nitrate, starting from the mass calculated in A, supplied in a small beaker. Give the name and capacity of any apparatus used. Your answer using series of numbered steps. Okay. So first step, pour 100 cm cube of distilled water in a small beaker and add 24.2 gram of copper nitrate in it. Okay. Next, transfer the solution. No, hold on. And stir the mixture. Okay. Transfer this solution in a 100 cm cube of volumetric flask. Excuse me. Volumetric flask. Rinse the beaker with distilled water. Transfer the washing. Okay. Top up the solution with distilled water until 100 cm cube mark reached. Stopper the flask. And shake it well. Okay. Oh my goodness. For 3 marks, there's a lot of writing. We need to write a lot for 3 marks. My goodness. Anyhow, let's move on to the next page. Oh, my favorite electrochemical cell. The students set up an electrochemical cell shown in figure 2.1 to investigate the effect of changing the concentration of metal ion on the measured cell potential values. When we talk about changing the concentration and measuring the cell potential, that indicates we are going to use Nernst equation. Okay. Anyway, this is electrode of M. This is copper electrode. This is high resistance voltmeter. I've told you in the class, high resistance voltmeter is also called potentiometer because it measures the minimum voltage also. Okay, this contains 1 mole per dm cube copper ions, and this contains 1 mole per dm cube metal ion. Okay. Oh, yes. Last but not the least, that's very important. What is A? A is basically the salt bridge. Okay. So state or suggest the function of the labeled item A in figure 2.0. Salt bridge ka function is easy. It completes the circuit and also it maintain electrical neutrality in both the half cell. By the way, we have discussed how to balance electrical neutrality in both the half cells. You need to remember that. If you don't remember this point, you need to go to the electrochemical cell topic in A2 lectures on my YouTube channel, and you can learn it from there. Okay, you will get the idea how to go about the electrical neutrality in both the half cells. How can we balance these two things? Okay. Oh my goodness. Next, oh my goodness. The student uses the apparatus in figure 2.1 to measure the cell potential using 6 solutions, each with a different concentration of this ion. That's easy. By the way, different concentration of metal ion. So this is going to be the independent variable. Because what we change is independent variable, and we are changing the concentration. Okay, so that's your independent variable. And okay, and what we measure is the dependent variable. So basically, we are going to measure this one. So this is going to be the dependent variable. Because what we measure is dependent variable. Okay, let's check. Electrode potential is represented by this equation, and this equation is really important, really important. Okay, the electrode potential value of copper half cell is given, which is 0.377. Record your values to 3 decimal place. Okay, so we need to put 0.337 into this, and we need to put E naught cell. So where is E naught? Where is E cell? This is E cell. Okay, so we need to put this value here, and we need to put this value here. Subtract these two values, you will get the answer for this one. Okay, so let me solve one value for you. Electrode potential of Mn plus M half cell equals to electrode potential of copper half cell minus E cell. So the electrode potential for copper is 0.337 minus the E cell value is here, which is 3.295. So when we subtract these two values, I'll get the answer, and the answer is going to be minus 2.958 volts. Okay, so I'm going to write this value here, 2.958 minus. So 3 decimal places और 3 decimal places का आंसर भी आ गया. So अब मैं इस वैल्यू को इस वैल्यू के साथ सब्ट्रैक्ट करूंगा. I'll get the answer. Let me write the answer quickly. It's going to be minus 2.967 minus 2.988. Okay, minus 3.006 minus 3.017 and minus 3.047. Okay, okay, independent variable. Oh, that's easy. Concentration of metal ion. Okay, aqueous metal ion. Okay, I hope it makes sense to you. I hope you get the logic. Let me Let me copy this. I believe examiner is looking for the graph in the next part of the question. So I need these values. Okay. Yes. Let me write the values first. My goodness, let me handle the date. Okay. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one is minus 3.05. Oh, this one is minus 3.03. This one is minus 3.01. This one is minus 2.99, 2.98, 2.97, 2.96, 2.95, and then minus 2.94. Okay. This is minus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is minus 2.5, then 3, minus 3.5, then 4, and then minus 4.5. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hmm. Just hold on a second. 2.95 minus 2.94 divided by 5. Okay, one small box on the y-axis is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Okay, and on x-axis is equals to 0.1. So it's 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 2.9, and then 3. Okay, I hope you get the logic. Let me draw the diagram first. Oh my goodness, that's 3 decimal places, the graph, and it's so tough to meet the requirement. Anyway, when we have 3.295 log m, when we have 2 minus 2, the value is minus 2.95. This is 2.95, 8. Hold on, let me calculate. 2.95 plus 2 exponent minus 3. So this is basically 2.952, 2.954, 6, and 8. So technically it has to be here. Okay. 2.952, 2.954, 2.956, 2.958. Okay. Well upon. Second, minus 2.3, minus 2.3, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. That's 2.3. Okay. From left say third line, minus 2.3. 1, 2, 3. This is 2.3, 2.96, 96, 96, 7, 96, 7, 2, 4, 6, and this one is 7. Here in the center. 2, 4, 6, and this one is this one. Okay. Very close to this. Yeah. Oh, not very close to this. In fact, it has to be this. Okay. Mm, तो 4, 6 और एक साथ. Yeah, it has to be here somewhat. Here. Okay, that's very, very tough to adjust three decimal places values on the graph. For me, it's very, very tough. Anyway, let's move on to the next. Minus 3, 2.988. Minus 3. This is minus 3. Minus 3. 2.988. 988. It has to be here somewhere. Right? 2, 4, 6, 8. 9. 982, 984, 984, 986, 988. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2.988. Okay, next is minus 3.006. Minus 3.3. This value is minus 3.3 and minus 3.0. 3.006. 246. This one. Okay. Then at fourth, minus 3.017. 4, 3.017. 2, 4, 6 और एक साथ. 2, 4, 6 और एक साथ. This is going to be the seventh one. Okay. And then at 5, 3.047. 3.047. 2, 4, 6 और 7. Okay. My goodness. So examiner is looking for the straight line of best fit. Okay. Let me draw the straight line of best fit. That's nice. Okay. My bad. That's the massive task I've done. Let's move on to the next part of the question. Circle one point on the graph that you consider to be most anomalous. Suggest one reason why this anomaly may have occurred during the experimental procedure. Assume no error was made in the measurement of the cell potential. Okay. So the most anomalous point has to be this one. Isn't it? This one. Most likely this point is at minus 3.3. Minus 3.3 when the concentration is 5.0 into 10 to the power minus 4. Okay. So concentration of log Mn plus is minus 3.3 when the concentration was 5 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole per dm cube. Okay. This indicates that the concentration of the solution was lower than the recorded value of 5.00 into 10 to the power minus 4 mole per dm cube. Okay. So this is, this concentration is lower than the recorded value. Okay. Show how, my bad. Suggest how the reliability of the data shown in table 2.1 can be improved. The reliability of the data. Most of the points lie on the line of best fit. So it's a reliable data. Okay. Use figure 2.2 to determine the gradient of the line of best fit. State the coordinates of both points you used in your calculation. They must be selected from your line of best fit. Give the gradient to 3 significant figures. Gradient has to be in 3 sig fig. Okay. So let me decide the coordinate. Let me decide first coordinate. This is going to be the first coordinate because it's very, very easy. Very, very easy. It's basically minus 5, comma, minus 3.047. Hold on. Minus 5.0, comma, minus 3.047. That's my first coordinate. And the second one is here. It's going to be minus 2.0 and then 2.958. Okay. Okay, let me write these coordinates. Coordinate number 1, minus 5.0, minus 3.047, and the second one is minus 2.0, and it's basically minus 2.958. So I need to find out the gradient, and gradient is basically d delta x over delta y. So delta x is basically minus 2.958 minus 3.047 divided by delta y. So it's minus 5.0 minus 2.0. So it's basically 0.089 divided by 3.0. So value is going to be 0.0296. 0.0296 is the gradient. Let me double check. 0.089 divided by 3. 0.02966. So 0.029 0.023 भी हो सकता है, 0.03 भी हो सकता है, but it's fine. 0.02966. Okay, I think 3 significant figures, so we cannot write another 6. Okay, yeah, that's fine. For the electrode equilibrium, the Nernst equation can be written as shown. By the way, that's the Nernst equation I've given you initially during the lecture in theory classes. Let me resolve this equation. In a consolidated way, it must be equals to E naught minus 0.0591 upon N log concentration of M N plus. And I've told you in the class, how did we get this answer? We know 2.303 is a constant, R is fixed, 8.31, temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, which is 298 Kelvin. Faraday constant ki value is fixed, 96500. So when we multiply this value divided by Faraday constant, I'll get 0.059 volt, okay? 591 volt. So that's the simplified version of the Nernst equation. Anyway, we need to respond the answer on the basis of this equation. The equation for a straight line is y equals to mx plus c. In my paper 5 lectures, I have discussed the linear law in that, and I have clearly indicate how can you decide which one is y, which one is x, which one is c, which one is m. All right. So on the basis of that, let's start. This is basically your y-axis. This is basically your c. Okay. This is basically your x-axis, and this is basically your gradient. So gradient is represented by m, which is equals to 2.303 RT upon NF. That's your gradient. So E has to be on the y-axis. Okay. So Y is E. M is 2.303 RT upon NF. And C is E naught. Okay. I hope it makes sense to you. Use the value that you calculated for the gradient of your line of best fit in G1 and the Nernst equation to calculate the value of N in this. That's what we want to calculate, the charge of matter line. An experiment takes place at 25 degrees Celsius. So gradient is basically what? 2.303 RT upon NF. Gradient was 0.0296 equals to 2.303. R is universal gas constant. Its value is fixed, 8.31. This value is given at the end of this paper, okay, in the data table. Temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. I have to convert it into Kelvin. So 25 plus 273 is going to be 298 Kelvin. Divided by NF, we need to find out the value of N, and the value of Faraday constant is fixed, which is 96500. This value is already given in the data table. Let me check this table. value of 9.65 into 10 to the power 4. You can write this value also. Let me write this value 9.65 into 10 to the power 4. 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 Okay, let me handle this whole data. So value of n is basically 5703.103 divided by uh, 2856.4. Let me calculate the value from here. 5703 5703.103 divided by 2856.4. So you will get 1.996, and that's equals to 2. So the charge of this matter line has to be 2 plus. Okay, that's the value of n, and that's the end of this paper also. Thank you very much, guys.